video, on the previous video, we started looking into SQL injection. We did see what SQL injection is, and this is all good resource from Portswigger on what SQL injection is and how to find and exploit different types of SQL vulnerabilities. And we did see how it can be impactful. Maybe just a small recap. SQL injection is the vulnerability that arise on the database, and this is due to our application trying to fetch some data from the database, where a malicious attacker is able to inject malicious scripts or malicious queries into the database, and they're able to take advantage of that to exploit our database. So in this lab, we are going to solve this lab where we are told there's an SQL injection vulnerability that is allowing login bypass. So this lab contains an SQL injection vulnerability in the login function. To solve the lab, perform an SQL attack that logs in the application as the administrator user. So this lab is trying to demonstrate the negative impacts of SQL injections in our login feature. So we'll start our lab. We've already started the lab, and we can try and log in using dummy passwords. We just want to see how the applications works. That's our request. That's our request to the database. So SQL injection, like we did see in the previous video on how to look for SQL injections, we can introduce a single quote, or we can have some boolean conditions to test for SQL injection. So I'm going to set this request to our repeater and try see if we have any injections point. Yeah, we did get an internal server error. This means that our parameter is being passed directly into our queries. So we are told to log in. The lab requires to log in as an administrator. So what is happening, maybe another great tool to use is the developer tools, to just see, then the network tab to just see things in real as they happen here. See our request to try and log in. We are sending a username winner and a password Peter. So maybe to paint a good picture on how this works, this is the query maybe on the backend that is being used, and the username is being passed here. So this will be our user and our password at this point. Then from this is executed on the database, and in case this matches where we have this user with this password, we are able to retrieve this. So in our case, we are to bypass the login with the administrator, to log in as an administrator. So we need our administrator parameter, which is being passed from the browser to the backend. We need it being replaced. Then we need to comment out the rest. So this is how we want so this two will comment out all this. So our query will be left to be select all from users where username is equals to the administrator. So this will be a valid query, and we be able to log in perhaps as an administrator. So all we need is to copy our payload. So our payload looks like this. So we have the administrator, then we are closing our SQL, then we have the two comment mark for SQL at the end to close or to comment out the rest of the query. For password, we can have any password, and we click on login, and there we go. We are able to solve the lab, and we are able to log in as the administrator, and we are able to view the account of the administrator. So this is something maybe be common to major websites, and this results from injecting our malicious payload, which was administrator, then the single quote followed by two comment for SQL. I hope this was informative, and hope to see you in the next video. Cheers guys.